Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast series on how to kickstart a community on top of a product. Every week or so, we explore the long journey of community building by talking to founders and community builders. Today, we're not going to talk about a standout community. We're going to talk about a new type of community, actually pretty unknown to me that I'm super excited to learn more about. It is an NFT-based community, and to chat about this, I'm very excited to welcome Emily Drewry, who is the marketing director at Voice, an NFT platform for creators. Hi, Emily. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
So first, do you want to maybe tell us how you ended up running like marketing and community at Voice and what your role is exactly about?
Yes, absolutely. So, like many people, I've had, an interesting career in learning, different types of marketing across different types of companies. So I've been both at startups and major companies. And I learned along the way that I was working in social strategy and marketing and editorial. But what I was really doing everywhere was building community. It just wasn't called that. So I ended up at Voice just about 2 years ago. I knew the CEO, and he brought me on board to kind of launch our marketing efforts. It was very important to me from the very beginning that everything we do, because we are ultimately here to serve creators, to make sure that our community was a part of everything, and in fact led both our product development and our marketing efforts. So that's kind of how I got to where I am today. I do not have blockchain or NFT experience before this job, but I've learned a ton. And I'm happy to now spread everything that I've learned to others.
Amazing. What a great journey. And talking about like NFTs, maybe before we go further, can you maybe explain everyone what an NFT is, except being a buzzword, so that we all understand what you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you kind of actually put the technology aside, the easiest way to think about NFT is that it makes digital goods sellable. So sellable and collectible. So if you have any form of digital asset, it's often talked about right now as a piece of art, but it also could be a ticket, or a piece of digital merch, or even if you want to get into the metaverse, digital land. Basically, you are putting a piece of code around this digital asset that proves who owned it, when it was created, and then tracks it throughout its entire lifespan and allows people to buy and sell that good.
That's great explanation. I think I finally get that. And I'm wondering because I'm building a community as well in Hera. You mentioned you've built communities before. I'm wondering like how different it is to build a community like in the Web3 compared to your other previous jobs. Like what's the differences?
That's a great question. It's very different in day to day, but I would say that the fundamentals are the same. So what's most different about building in the Web3 space is that it's new to everyone. And so people are really focused on learning and experimenting. And with that, there's a lot of people aren't sure of what they should be doing. People are looking for support. There's definitely some scams out there. So you can't really build as quickly as you might have been able to in previous industries, because everyone's a little wary and looking for guidance. And so we've really focused on building our community around education and shared resources and support, and that has really helped us navigate this brand new space. But at the same time, the fundamentals of community building, which is shared feedback and building for a common purpose, like all of those things remain the same in Web3.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And like, do you use a specific tool to engage with your community? Like, where do your people hang out? Where do you engage with them?
So yes, we are following the kind of Web3 standard by housing our community in Discord, which has been a really great experience because I think, you know, again, everyone's kind of learning this platform and this tool at the same time. And so, you know, we have kind of a lot of ability to experiment and to play around, and our community has been fantastic in giving feedback on, you know, what they do want, what they don't want. If the Discord gets too complicated, they tell us. And so it's been a really great place to house a lot of those discussions. I think the one downside to it is because Discord is a new tool, a lot of people aren't in it yet. So you know, they're already focused on learning the NFT space. They're like, I don't want to learn another platform to talk about it.
But it's a new tool to adopt, right? Yeah,
exactly. But once they get in there, they're always happy to be there.
And so getting in there, you mentioned this, like, I think the hardest part, at least for myself, was like to get the first people to join the community. So what's your thought on this? How did you do to get the first people to join, and how many members do you have right now?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of, you know, the first people, you know, we've been building kind of our product alongside our community. So our first community members were really our first users. And the way that we kind of turn them into, you know, active community members is really by asking for their opinions along every step of the way, implementing their recommendations, and staying super transparent in our building process. Right now, we're just about to hit 6,000 members in our Discord, which I'm really, really excited about because I think, you know, like I said, only a small number of our users are in there, but the folks that are in there are super engaged and happy to be there. So we're still, you know, a relatively new company at this point, but the growth in the community that has happened thus far, I'm very, very proud of.
And these people who join your Discord, like, what are they looking for in particular in your community?
They're really looking for guidance, support, you know, companionship, and I would say, like, to get ahead, right? You know, the NFT space is new, exciting, competitive, and so folks want to make sure that they're making the most of the opportunities that exist. And a lot of those opportunities, at least like we share in our Discord first. So we, you know, any new product announcement, any opportunity to be featured, like those all primarily start at our Discord, which makes it a really great place to be.
Okay. And 6,000 members, like how many people are like taking care of them within Voice? Like you're responsible of it? Do you have anyone, any other people responsible of the community on Discord?
Yes, I would not be able to be, I would not be able to do it without a team. So we have a fantastic community architect named Denise, who came on board late last year to really help build out the Discord, structure the community. So she really has been a fantastic resource for me in helping me turn kind of my community building experience into something that works in Web3. And then I have also a few other members of the Voice team who are in there every day helping, you know, take care of our community members. So it's definitely not something that I could.
Yeah, that's a team effort, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Cool. We're coming to an end. My last question would be like, what has been or is currently the hardest with regards to your community? What do you feel is the hardest thing to do?
That's a great question. I think, as I kind of mentioned before, like the NFT space is kind of ripe because it's brand new. It's kind of ripe with scams and bad behavior. And I think, you know, once people kind of see some of that happening, they tend to be really skeptical of anything new or anything, like I said, that's moving too quickly. So it's been tough to kind of balance those few bad actors with the majority of the community who are there for you know, good purposes, and just make sure that everybody still trusts us along the way.
I think that brings another question. Sorry, like how would you measure the health of your community? Like, do you have any metrics you're looking at? Anything you're like particularly looking at to like make sure your community is healthy?
Yes, absolutely. So Denise does a really fantastic community surveys that, you know, directly ask folks how happy and satisfied they are with the community, what they're looking for, you know, how often they are logging in and you know, staying active. And Discord offers some stats like that, you know, like the average number of people who are, you know, logging in per day. But for me, it's really more about that survey and getting that direct feedback from people.
Super clear. Thank you so much, Emily. It was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your insights. I think it was very, very interesting from the community builder point of view. So I'm sure it's going to be useful to a lot of people out there. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today, and I wish you a very great day.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.